Welcome back to Through the Lens of Neville. Through the Lens of Neville. How has Hollywood hit the mark when it comes to Neville Goddard's teachings and what they've written into their movies? This one's going to be a good one. And I remember when it came out because the main character was the man in 1987. He was the hot ticket. Every movie he did he was on the top shelf. And the movie's called Angel Heart. Has Mickey Rourke, also has Robert De Niro, and the movie has to do, I think it's set in the 30s, and Mickey Rourke's basically a private eye, and he's hired by this guy to go find somebody who he has lost and he wants to settle an account with. All right, Angel Heart, 1987, Mickey Rourke, Robert De Niro. Now, spoilers. If you haven't seen it, stop now. Go watch it. It's worth a watch. This is the Neville Lens talking. I really like any time travel movie, I'm on it. Any movie about books, I'm on it. Any movie about amnesia, I'm on it. Those three things right there, I'm immediately attracted to, and I'll watch them no matter how good or bad they are. But this one was a curveball, and I mean to tell you, spoilers coming right now. All right, you've been warned. So, Mickey Rourke goes to meet this guy who wants to hire him to find another guy, and that guy that he wants to find, his name is Johnny Angel. Mickey Rourke's character steps in here with this guy who wants to hire him, and he's Robert De Niro. And Robert De Niro's working a boiled egg. He's cracking it open, and the shells are right there, and he's got these really long, pointy fingernails. His character's name in the movie is Louis Cypher. So Louis Cypher has hired, what was Mickey's character's name? I forget. He's hired Mickey Rourke, let's just call him Mickey from here forward, to go find a soldier from the war who's been missing. And I believe it was World War II, so we might be talking maybe the 40s, post-war. This guy wants to find somebody who made a contract with him. Louis Cypher has a contract with this guy, but he ditched him. And he wants to hire Mickey Rourke's character to go find him. So the movie goes on. The amnesia starts to wear a little bit here and there because all these experiences that Lisa Bonet's in the movie. And at that time, she was a hot character too. She was very much a main staple of The Cosby Show. Due to this movie, as a side tangent, The Cosby Show let her go because she was in this movie portraying that character. Silly in hindsight, what dramas, what dramas unfold and refold, don't they? But either way, so Lisa Bonet, Mickey Rourke, Robert De Niro. Ultimately, what ends up happening is the character known as Louis Cypher is having Mickey hunt down everybody that is associated with Johnny Angel, and Johnny Angel owes him something. Louis Cypher's character. So Mickey Rourke goes to visit this person, dead end. Goes to visit that person, dead end. Goes over here to visit this person, dead end. Gets entangled with the Lisa Bonet character. She was a dancer, and he goes and finds her, and she's doing all kinds of voodoo rituals in the bushes with a bunch of people. Not bushes per se, but in the bush, in the back roads or whatever you want to call it. Mickey Rourke's intrigued, gets entangled with her. Now they're in a relationship, and before you know it, memories are flooding back. Mickey Rourke's character was in a state, and now then, Louis Cypher calls him to a task and hires him and pays him whatever. And now as Mickey Rourke's character is going through all these investigations, he's starting to puzzle piece this thing together. That, wait a minute. The memories start overwhelming him. So what ends up happening is that he starts to remember that it wasn't just a dead end when he interviewed this guy. He killed that guy. Well, he interviewed him looking for Johnny Angel, didn't have the information, then he snuffed him out. Then he visited this gal, snuffed her out. Then he visited this, that, and the other, and was snuffing everybody out. So what Louis Cypher had a contract with was a guy named Johnny Angel, which was the amnesiac Mickey Rourke character. Mickey Rourke did a spell on himself with a gal, and voodoo magic. I don't know what kind of magic, excuse me for all this, the ignorance of this whole part right here, but it's voodoo, incantations, etc. Mickey Rourke character was able to escape his old state, his self, Johnny Angel. Johnny Angel made a deal with the devil, who was Louis Cypher, Lucifer. Mickey Rourke even laughs at him and goes, he says to Robert De Niro, even your name is a dime store joke. Because that was at the moment of realization that he was Johnny Angel, it just came flooding back. And here now, Robert De Niro is collecting because he gave him fame and fortune, I think is what happened. And then Johnny Angel decided to escape into a soldier, which was Mickey Rourke's character. And there's this constant ringing of dog tags that's involved heavily. What a wonderful, wonderful show, because in the Neville material, it's constant that Neville says that God put the eternity in the mind of man. But what we don't want in our mind is a memory or any memories of all of our experiences. Because as we go through this wheel over and over, and we get restored, then we're still in this age. Incidentally, the last movie I just did, Cocoon, the one thing about the end of the movie I could have said, but I didn't, I should have, was there's a transition into that age. It's a brilliant movie, Cocoon. Back to this one. So in the idea of all these memories where Johnny Angel had to accept them again, he tried to escape from them. And we're talking about just two people, Johnny Angel and the soldier that Johnny Angel occupied to get away from this debt he had with Louis Cypher, Lucifer, selling his soul for, I think it was money or fame. As Neville says over and over and over, we would never want all the memories. Ever, ever, ever. Can you imagine? This show dictated two people, and it was enough to overwhelm the psyche and the senses. Two people. So, I mean, it brilliantly done for the time, 1987. I was in it, like I said, it was in my time, and Mickey Rourke did another great movie called Barfly. Wonderful movie. He did a lot of great movies in a row at the time. Highly recommend this one because of the amnesia quality. Now, you didn't stay for the spoilers if you didn't see it. You went and watched it. Now you're back. You probably agree with me too. But through the eyes of Neville, there's some wonderful pieces here. We got the states. We got the idea of restoration. The wheel. We don't necessarily have the promise, but we have the law for sure. We have the law of a debt, per se. We have the devil, which is supreme doubt. The devil represents supreme doubt. So anytime you see that character in a movie, and it's done really well by Robert De Niro, it's one of those great ones. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Some Nevilisms all over it through the lens of Neville. We're going to see you in the next one. I hope you enjoy any and all of these. Please give me some feedback, because I can do these all day, every day. There's so many wonderful gems out there, and I'll just give my Neville perspective. Of course, this is all opinion, of course. So have a good day. See you in the next one.